just found a very, 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 very very small bug. It was so small, I was like, I don't even think I can take a picture of this thing. It's like, I don't even have a visual representation. It looked like a mini green spider. Looked like a very just less than a millimeter big spider. And I felt it crawling up my arm, and I was like, oh, I feel something ticklish. What is that? It must be a bug on me. And I looked, and I saw just the tiniest little bug crawling up my arm, and I felt it, and I was like, ooh, it tickles. And then I was like, I'm gonna squish it. Then I was like, dude, this bug is so tiny. Why do I need to squish it? It would take just as much energy to squish it as it would to get up and walk outside and put it outside. Well, I guess physically no, but to think about it, you know what I'm saying? Because it takes, the mental toll would have required as much physical energy as it took to walk the bug outside, take a minute, wait for it to crawl on my finger, and then wait for it to, like, I put it next to a leaf, and it was crawling up my finger, but then it, like, sensed or noticed that I put it next to a leaf, and it turned around and walked up my finger, and then the leaf was, like, next to my finger. It was perpendicular to my finger, so they were intersecting like that. And what are you doing? You want to be a part of this or no? And it was like having a moment of like, I don't know how to walk up this wall. And I realized, oh, dude, this bug, like, it's struggling to walk on the wall, walk sideways, because it's a different plane. It's struggling to figure out the planes. So I took it and I walked it over. I moved it over to a leaf, and I was kind of put my finger down on the leaf, and it walked. Bye, see you later. It walked off my finger like a little walkway onto the leaf. And then I studied it for a moment. I looked at it, I appreciated it, I blew it a little gentle kiss. and then I fucking went back inside, and I was like, I'm gonna sit down and record a podcast while I eat some cherries. And talk about how the fuck I woke up today. Jesus Christ. That's why she's bothering me. She wants treats. I get cherries, she gets greenies. There we go. Dude, these are like an addiction for my cat. My cat like fiends for these. Sometimes she'll bother me. If I give her other treats and they're not these, she'll bother me until I give her these. Sometimes I explain it to her though, like if we run out, I gotta go to the store, I'm like, you're gonna have to settle for the fucking emergency backup treats right now because we're all out. And that's when she settles. What I started doing too was mixing the greenies in with her food, but then, I think it's Friskies, one of the companies, Meow Mix. Meow Mix. They came out with this like gravy bursters fucking food, which basically already has treats mixed in with it, with like this like gravy center. It's like a gusher for a cat. I spoil the shit out of her. But she's got these cat gushers mixed in with her food already. But then I still add in some greenies on top of it because she doesn't always go for the food because it doesn't smell like greenies. Something in the smell of the greenies she really likes. And that's why I gotta mix it in with her food because it'll make her eat her food more often. But right now, I'll give her some more because she went out into the other room. I left the door ajar because I didn't want to have to get up again. And she came back in here. So obviously she went into the other room, ate, got her water. And then she was like, you know what? I want greenies, actually. But, you know, that's kind of goes into what I wanted to talk about today. Because, like, this is my cat's addiction. Even a cat can have preferences and I don't know, what do you call it? Preference and proclivities. Even cats can have preferences and proclivities towards certain specific substances and things, just like humans. I'm genetically predisposed to fucking love alcohol. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there like that. Alright, dude, I gave you 2 handfuls already. You gotta chill. Just slow down. Can't afford to feed you all these greenies. She eats it as her regular food sometimes, and I'm like, dude, we can't do this. You want cherries? Can cats have cherries? Gotta Google it. Can cats have cherries?
Cherries are not safe for cats because the stems, leaves, and...
Alright, you don't need to fucking... She never speaks out loud. I don't know why she's speaking out loud right now while I'm recording. That's so weird. It's like she sensed that I was recording. It. Gotta stop anthropomorphizing the AI. But yeah, I have a genetic predisposition for alcoholism. And so when I was like, I don't know, first time I drank when I was like 16, I went to a party and I bought a Four Loko off this kid. And then I took a sip and it tasted like Gatorade and I started chugging it. He was like, you're gonna want to slow down with that. And I was like, I know what the fuck I'm doing, okay? Suffice to say, I ended up giving away the rest of that can because I was so fucking drunk. And I remember getting home and like throwing up. And apologizing to my dad because I was just like my siblings. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just like them, I'm no different. I like to have fun too. And then that was when I started looking forward to the summers. And then by the time I graduated high school, that like summer, from the day that we left school until I had my first day of college, I wasn't sober. And even when I started college, I would carry around a flask everywhere because I thought I was more adept when I was drunk than when I was sober. But in reality, what I was actually doing was channeling my inner child without all of the interference of all the experiences I've had since I was, born until that point in time. It allowed me to clear away a lot of the fog that, other people have made me think about and allowed me to act more in congruence with the way that I thought I wanted to think. But that's the inherent internal misconception or lie that the genetic predisposition kind of opens you up to, because it causes receptors to fit into their, like, it causes the keys to fit into the lock so well that your body thinks it's actually a more efficient way of being. Sometimes you have to consciously, I got my green juice, you have to consciously recognize that your body likes it because it's genetically formulated to like it, but that doesn't mean that it's good for it. Like, cigarettes are a pretty good example too. They kind of hijack your limbic system and your reward system. So I remember when I first started smoking cigarettes, I would gag. I'd be like, and it would make me cough really hard. But the dopamine release kept me coming back to it time and time and time again until eventually I gained a tolerance and I stopped gagging and coughing. But that doesn't mean that it's still not something that my body first rejected, because the gagging and the coughing is your body rejecting something. And every time I would smoke past the gagging and the coughing, I would program my body that this isn't something that we reject. And actually, that goes into a very interesting point about cherries, which I didn't plan for. I was just really hungry, and I also wanted to record a podcast at the same time. I used to be allergic to cherries when I was little. Pero means but in Spanish, or So pero, I'm gonna start trying to use it instead of is too ingrained in my mind. But I like cherries. So, I don't like the sour ones though. I'm just new to being not allergic to them. So I'm kind of going for the more ripe ones before I go for the more non-ripe looking ones. Because when I was little, I would eat a cherry and it would make my mouth water so much and kind of make it difficult to swallow. Not full on anaphylaxis, just like allergic reaction. I don't know how else to fucking describe it. Just an allergic reaction that didn't breach into anaphylaxis yet. But I liked cherries, so, and the same thing with peaches and nectarines. I would keep trying to eat them, and I think it has something to do with the cyanide in pit fruits, because it's like all pit fruits. My body didn't know how to process or digest it yet, so it would try to reject it through like allergic response. Maybe, my speculation, I'm not a scientist. Well, according to science class, we're all scientists, so I shouldn't say that. I am a scientist, just I haven't done the research yet. But, pero, when I was, I don't know, 19, I remember I was with my ex-girlfriend and her mom bought a bag of like these yellow and red cherries. And I was like, I'm normally allergic to cherries, but I'll try one to see if I'm still allergic, because that's pretty much what I did every single summer, was I would try one to see if I was still allergic to it. And if I had an allergic response, I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm still allergic to it. And I was kind of opening myself up to that opportunity because I wrongfully trusted these people in this environment that I would be safe. I say wrongfully because I told them about my allergies, and at a later point in time, my ex actually gave me something that I was allergic to, and I think that was to test if I actually had allergies or if I was lying. which is kind of sadistic and fucked up if you think about it, but I tried these yellow and red cherries and I wasn't allergic to them. And that's when I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm not allergic to cherries anymore. And then I tried a red variety like a couple years later. No reaction. And I was like, oh, sweet, I'm finally not allergic to cherries. Your allergies can change every about 10 years or so. That's kind of crazy because when you have allergies, you think it's this like unchangeable thing about yourself, but they change on their own every so often. And now they even have a pill that you take. I'm not sure if you take it every day or if you take it. I'm not very sure about this because I just learned about it through an infomercial. But it you take the pill and then it lessens your allergic response to things. So if like you're allergic to apricots and somebody hands you a sandwich with apricot jam and then they didn't know and you eat it, supposedly the pill will make it so that you don't actually have an allergic response even though you ate the thing that you're allergic to. So that's just like science in motion right there. And you're probably sitting there thinking to yourself, why is this guy talking about all of this stuff? And what does this have to do with the way that he woke up this morning? It was like, I don't know, 9:30. I didn't go to bed until late. And I woke up to some dude fucking yelling outside my apartment. I was like, yo, somebody's in danger outside. So I was like, what the fuck? And I got up, walked over to the window, and I saw this dude just like flipping out. He was crying in the middle of the street, just like full on breaking down crying. And mind you, I was just woken up to this, so I'm like, I need to analyze this situation and figure out what the heck is going on right now. I was standing there at my window and I felt kind of bad staring at a dude while he's breaking down, but I was like, I need to analyze the situation and make sure that this guy's all right, because this sounds terrible. This sounds horrible right now. And he kept crying out, just sell me something, please. And my first thought was like, are you trying to buy my car? It's not that big of a deal, man. I'll sell you something. What do you want? You looking to buy a bracelet? What are you trying to buy? It's so like life or death right now, dude. Like, it's not that big of a deal, man. What's this like? You just want to participate in the social convention of a transaction, dude? I'll print out some Monopoly money and I'll give it to you, and we can go play transaction. We can play store. Is that what you wanted to do? And it looks a little stupid in retrospect, but that was my first thought because I wasn't thinking about the dark underbelly of the world. And during the same time, my mom told me I didn't have to move the fucking car today and parked it on the street. She told me I didn't have to move it for a week. I woke up to this guy yelling out there. So as he's yelling and crying, I'm assessing the situation. I'm also noticing, hey, wait a minute. The other side of the street's fucking empty. Today's fucking the day I was supposed to move the car. Today's street cleaning day. My mom fucking lied to me. And I'm like, wait, which side of the street are they supposed to clean? And I'm trying to call my mom. She's not answering. I'm like, fuck, it must be the side of the street that's empty. And I'm realizing, damn it, I probably got a ticket at the same time that this guy is flipping out and freaking out in the middle of the street. And I'm trying to like just assess the situation, and he's like right next to my car, freaking out. And I'm like, are you gonna start hitting my car and shit? And my first thought was, okay, well, the least I can do in this situation is ask this man if he needs assistance or help from here in my window. That's what I did. I was like, hey, do you need help? And I was like, maybe I wasn't loud enough, so I kept asking louder and louder and louder. And he just kept being like, I just let me buy something, please. Like, and I'm like, do you want like to buy, what are you trying to buy some arts and crafts, bro? You trying to buy a painting? Like, what are you, what's going on here? And, this is completely speculation, but like the only reason that somebody would be freaking out over a transaction like that and not specifically stating what it is that they're trying to buy alludes to drugs, right? That's a very fucking illusory statement right there. Especially if he's ignoring the attempts at communication to provide assistance. This is my breakfast, by the way. Are cherries a good breakfast? Very tart breakfast. Lunch, I guess, 12:10. I'm assuming he's flipping out about drugs. There's nothing I can do, really, about that. That's just his own thing. So I step away from the window. I'm like, all right, there's nothing I can really do for him, because even if I had something that he wanted to buy from me, I don't think I want to take his money. You know what I mean? Even if I had something to sell, like a bracelet or a fucking car or a museum piece or whatever, I don't think I'd want to take his money for that transaction, because it just seems odd and uncomfortable. And then I started really thinking about it, that like maybe his plug cut him off. Which is like a really heavy fucking realization to have first thing upon waking up. And went from realizing there's someone yelling outside to there's someone yelling by my car to, oh my god, I got a ticket, to, oh my god, this guy's yelling about his drug dealer cutting him off right outside of my car while I got a ticket for street cleaning. It's just a hit with a barrage of bullshit before I even opened my eyes. I was like, what the fuck? And then on top of it, it's just an inherently saddening situation to see a fully grown man reduced to crying and throwing a tantrum in the middle of the street because somebody cut him off from his drugs. I mean, shit, I threw a tantrum over like a $50 sweater being stolen out of my mail like 2 weeks ago. This is a long ass time ago. It's like a month and a half ago now. But the biggest difference was I was inside of my house throwing the tantrum, and he was outside in the middle of the street. And I was just like yelling, because I was like, you're gonna fuck with the federal law like that, and fuck you. Because mail theft is fucking the federal law, man. Fuck you. It makes me hot. Remember that, the gang solves the gas crisis episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Oh wait, or was it the gang solves the gun issue episode? One of those two episodes, they're like, this it's making me hot. This issue is making me hot. Oh, I'm getting hot right now. That's what mail theft is like to me. That's one of those issues that makes me hot because it just shouldn't exist. It fucking the only reason it exists is because of retardation and fucking unscrupulous fucking I want to screw over other people behavior, and I hate that. I fucking hate that. If you're an unscrupulous, I want to screw over other people kind of person, you want to take fucking shit from them that they purchased and bought, then you're a fucking bad person. You don't deserve the shit that you think that you deserve, you fucking twit. Oh, I'm hot right now. I'm so hot. Fuck. Maybe that's how that guy felt. He was hot. He was like, come on, sell me some drugs. I'm hot right now. I'm poking fun at him right now, but ultimately that's only because so I can rationalize the situation of how heavy it was, because he wanted whatever he was to be sold so badly and didn't get sold that thing that it caused him to break down. And that's just an inherently sad situation to see that that's what drugs does to people. And I think that really goes back into why I felt the impetus to really share that episode, Dare to Say No, because like I smoke marijuana, but it's therapeutic for me, and there's very specific instances around it. And like I only smoke at home. I mostly only smoke by myself. If I do go out to smoke, like I'm going into nature. I'm going to like a beach. I'm going like on a walk through the woods. I'm not going to walk through a city street, you know, smoking a joint. I do that sometimes, like if I'm going to an event or something, and like I went to go see a screening of The Big Lebowski, and I remember smoking a joint there, but I still felt weird about it because I cough really hard. And people think that there's something wrong, but I just have like sensitive lungs, and I only really cough when like people are looking at me, so I guess I get self-conscious. But there's like very specific therapeutic instances around how I use marijuana, and so to try and like compare that to what that guy is going through, I think is a little unfounded on my behalf, because it's inherently not the same, especially if he's dealing with something that's a little bit harder, that's going to cause you to throw a tantrum like that. But yeah, man, I got hot button issues. Like the other day, this dude tried to buy my car off me, and he said he took it for a test drive, and he was like, all right, I have a rental car. You want to meet me at the rental place tomorrow at 1? And then I did a little bit of work on the car for him. Just a little thing that I had to like replace that was bothering me for a while. And I figured if it's bothering me, and this is the one little quirk about the car that's bothering me, and I know how to fix it, I want to fix it for him so that he has a nearly perfect car. You know what I mean? Like if it's the one quirk that I know, okay, when this happens, I have to jiggle this thing, I'm going to fix the thing that I have to jiggle. And I fixed the thing that I had to jiggle for him. And then, he never responded to me. He never got back to me. And he agreed to meet me, and I was texting him in the morning. I was like, hey, what time works best for you? And then he didn't respond, and this pissed me the fuck off. But it doesn't piss me the fuck off as much as mail theft pisses me the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? There's degrees, there's layers to this shit. There's varying factors. Because in all honesty, other people started hitting me up for the car too, so that's fine. And I'm not gonna let this guy control my emotions, you know? He ultimately has the free will to choose and decide whatever he wants. And if he wanted to handle that situation by ghosting me, that says more about him than it says about me. Because on one hand, he made a promise to purchase the car. Or an agreement, a verbal agreement. But on the other hand, he reneged and then didn't want to give a reason why. Or even admit to the fact that he was reneging. Which is kind of like weak in my mind. He could have literally just said, hey, I don't want it. But he was too busy trying to gather information about me, I think. Trying to, like, he was being really creepy about it too. He's like, we can be friends and go diving together. Cool fucking proposition. Thanks. But if your entire rationale around buying the car hinged on my response to how I said I would think about going dive, like, you know what I mean? If you're hinging your purchase on whether or not I'll be friends with you, that's not how purchases work. That's not how fucking business works. I mean, if that's how you want to conduct your business, but he was being real friendly to me, trying to, like, you know, get all this information out of me, and then said that he would buy the car. He could have just said, no, I don't want to buy the car, but instead he'd rather, like, make a promise, not stick up to it, and then choose to be upset about it because I don't want to be friends with him after he lied. That's kind of a big thing for me. Like, I have a tendency to try to avoid people I interacted with while I worked at a certain place here in California, because I was lied to so often, targeted so often at that job, that any customer that went into there, I consider to be a threat at this point in time. Because they orchestrated, the owners of the establishment, orchestrated so much bullshit to target me, and then turned around and fucking lied all about it, to such a point that I have a nearly photographic memory. I remember nearly every customer that went into there, and I just kind of cut them off because you guys are an untrustworthy lot due to your association with this business. I don't know who those fucking owners are paying to fucking target me and who they're not. So, if there's anybody that has fucking known me through that connection and they want to assert that they know me through that connection, or even if they want to avoid mentioning that they know me through that connection, that's a game that I just don't like to play. So I just don't play it. And maybe that's the same thing that went on with that other guy. Maybe he was like, well, there's just some kind of game that I don't want to play here because I didn't want to go diving and hanging out with him. Getting hot again. So, you know what I'm saying, though? Like, that's one of those things where I felt the urge to be like, I'm gonna blow up about this. And I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna blow up about it because this is just some loser trying to like siphon my energy off of me because he has nothing else better going on. And in all honesty, if you can really fucking waste 2 hours to go see a car on a holiday weekend just because you want to fuck with the person and waste their time, then you seriously have nothing fucking better going on. You seriously have no fucking life at that point. Yeah, and I will say that working at that place definitely diminished my barrier for trust, because I would fucking go to work and they would do weird shit. Like I would post something on my Snapchat story the night before, and then my manager would quote back to me almost verbatim a fucking joke I posted on my story. And I would ask him, hey, do you follow me on Snapchat? That's so weird. I just posted that. Even sometimes I will post something while I'm at work and then he'll fucking start quoting it. And I'm like, dude, at this point, you've quoted me so many times that I need to ask you, do you follow me? Because I have like 8,000 followers on Snapchat. I don't fucking know everybody that follows me. It would be cool to know if you follow me or not. And he's like, no, I don't follow you. So that made me kind of like curious. And then one of the owners was like, we own a data acquisitions company, just so you know. And that kind of keyed me into the fact that they bought my fucking data from the social media companies, and then they were quoting my own comments and shit back to me. Ugh, that's fucking disgusting behavior. So if there's somebody that's literally data acquiescing that much on a person, and then there are others that are associated with that person, I don't want to be associated with those people at all. In the same way that I don't want to be associated with that guy who's having a fucking tantrum in the middle of the street because his dealer won't sell him drugs. I'll offer him help. Hey man, do you have a broken fucking leg? You're crying out for help right now. Did you just get fucking stabbed or something? I'll offer assistance if he's having a medical emergency, but dude's just flipping out over the fact that his plug cut him off. And I ended up selling my car anyways. So it's like, yeah, that guy wasted a day for me. But even at the end of it, like, I still got what I wanted out of it. That guy didn't end up fucking doing anything besides wasting his own time. Because I still got the fucking money I needed. I still got what I wanted out of the situation. The car is still sold. The only one that fucked themselves over was that guy revealing what he's really about. And that happens all the time. People fucking show their true colors. And then I'm one of those people that I give the benefit of the doubt. I give them a couple of times because I'm like, you know what? You can't really judge somebody on one bad day. Everybody has bad days all the time. That was the whole point of The Dark Knight, right? The Joker was like, everybody has a bad day. Batman's just one bad day away from being the Joker. Everybody's got bad days. Everybody deserves second chances, but it's when it's repeated fucking consistent behavior, that's when I'm like, okay, this is something freaky, weird, and I don't want to associate with it. That was the impetus to make me quit over there. The weird thing is I had a premonitionary dream. On the day I was supposed to work, it was like a Sunday morning or whatever, I woke up with a startle like for 6 hours before I was supposed to be to work. I wanted to sleep in a little bit because I had a later shift, but I woke up right away in the morning with a startle, and I had like a nightmare about, like, I don't even remember totally what the nightmare was. But I had decided, okay, I'm done with this. I'm tired of fucking having this place invade my thoughts to the point where I'm now having nightmares. And that's when I fucking texted him. I said, hey man, I got a big opportunity. The big opportunity was my intuition telling me that they're fucking with me over there. And I quit. And then that same day, like, this chick that, like, apparently, like, got a boyfriend within, like, the fucking time that I started working there until this day, but didn't really display that fact very well. Because she was single when I first started working there, and then apparently something had happened or transpired during the course of when I was working there, but she didn't really display that fact very much, nor was she very open and honest with me about it. And I went into work, and she had a big bouquet of roses sitting there, and I had already kind of said, fuck this situation, I don't really have any care about it right now. And I saw the big bouquet of roses, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cute, because I love roses. Roses are cute. That's awesome. That's lovely. That's beautiful. And they were visually frustrated. that was one of the biggest confirmations that I was like, I made the right move quitting this morning, because they were visually frustrated that I was happy about the fucking bouquet of roses. And she was like, well, my boyfriend brought him into me. And I went, that's beautiful. Oh my God, you have a boyfriend? That's so great. Oh my God, that's so awesome that he's loving enough to bring a fucking bouquet of roses into you at work. That's so beautiful. But you know what is tacked on at the beginning of that? You have a boyfriend? The only way that I would have fucking known is if this dude brought you in a dozen roses, which he did what he needed to do because he could sense that somebody's fucking lying in this situation as well. In case you think I forgot. One time I was standing in my window, and there was this dude across the street. I was just standing in my window looking out the window, and he went to me in my window, and I just kind of stood there. I was like, what? I almost laughed a little bit, but I didn't want to fucking give him the satisfaction of laughter, because I thought, what if he's even doing this to make me laugh? I kind of just stood there and didn't respond, and then he kind of was like, woo, woo, and I didn't move at all, and then he just kept walking. I'm like, why did you even stop in the first place, dude? You're walking down the street, you saw me in my window, keep it along your fucking way, dude. You don't need to stop there. So every time that happens, I think of that, and it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. But, oh yeah, I fucking remember all of that shit. You're not gonna fucking treat me like crap and get away with it. And hopefully, that's the same fucking determination that guy outside had. Hopefully that was his rock bottom that I got to witness, and that's where it stops for him. That's my ultimate hope for that man, that I fucking woke me up this morning with screaming, wailing, and crying. Is that this is his stopping point. That was as low as he wants to get, being a grown man crying in the middle of the street about drugs and being cut off from his dealer. Hopefully he realized the level of control that a drug dealer can have over an individual, and that is a level of control he wants to stop ceding to others. Hopefully he has that realization that he's giving up his control to others by taking on substances of that caliber to which his body can't handle. Ultimately, like, I have to do some fucking rationalization because of the crazy way that I was woken up. And you know what? A couple weeks ago, I got it on recording. I got an audio recording of some dude outside my window flipping out in the middle of the night, yelling about fireworks and all these things. But then he started quoting episode titles in my podcast. And, you know, for some reason, I feel this similar feeling between all of these instances. That's why I brought up this workplace targeting, because that same kind of driving factor feels present in all three of those scenarios that I kind of brought up. It feels like, you know, on one hand, it could just be a person with money telling other people to do things for money. But then you could get into the territory of, like, it's some spiritual warfare. But, you know, I don't want to fucking focus on spiritual warfare and ignore the fact that there might literally just be a dude who has too much money and not enough sense. Because all this stuff is getting really weird. Like, to a degree, the universe is weird. And that weirdness, I notice it so much that I'm wondering where this level of coordination is occurring. Because, like, there's something weird. Like, I'll be driving along the road, and I'll be kind of zoned out, and I'll be tuned in. And then I'll notice somebody does something stupid on the road. Like, they'll randomly put on their flashers. And I'll be like, why the fuck are you putting on your flashers? And it'll knock me out of that flow state where I'm just kind of driving along. And then I'll notice, oh shit, my turn's coming up. And that's what really kind of sparked that line of questioning of where exactly is this coordination coming from? Because how the hell did that person's random application of their hazard lights in front of me occur at such a point in time that it was perfectly coordinated with me almost missing my turn? That's where I'm like, where is this level of coordination occurring? Because fucking you can't coordinate the birds and the bees. You can't coordinate the little fucking spiders crawling up my arms. I don't know if it was a spider. It was a little green bug. If you know what kind of little green bugs that kind of look like tiny spiders, if you know what those are, let me know down in the comments down below. Because that was the story I told at the beginning. And that's why I think I'm going to try and wrap it up. Because we're getting into 46 minutes. I'm getting hot. I'm going to splice that in. Great, now I have to splice it in because I said I'm going to splice it in. Fuck! But, yeah, man, you know what? If you notice coordination in your life and you're like, this guy's weird and everything's weird and whatever's going on, I want you to focus not on the coordination, but what level is this coordination occurring at, you know? Because I think that's what usually trips people up. You know, sometimes people are like, well, it's God coordinating everything, and it's just some dude with more money than sense. And then some other people are like, well, it's just people coordinating things, and then a fucking bird flies directly into your face as you're saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's weird shit. Like, one time, we went to a black-owned comedy club. So, naturally, it had a lot of black people in there. And this was when I was, like, 21. And my friend's girlfriend, or ex-friend, I don't know, I haven't talked to them in years because they don't reach out to me. When they do, it's weird. She refused to go in. She's like, they're gonna make fun of us because we're white. And I was like, yo, that's fucked up. Like, even still, you can still laugh at it because we're going in here to laugh. This is an environment of laughter. And she refused to go in. We had like a big argument right up front of the front door, and I went, well, I'm not going to let your emotions control me. I'm still going to go inside. And I had a fucking blast. Yes, they did make fun of us. There were 2 seats in the front row. And all the other seats in the building were full. And I went, they saved those chairs for us. And I walked right up to those chairs. I sat right down. And almost every comic fucking made fun of us. And I had a blast, bro. I was like, yo, this is fucking awesome. And it was really mostly awesome because their jokes were good. They were actually good jokes. They were fucking thoughtful jokes. Like, the funniest shit. And I had a really awesome time. It was a really good time. I got to meet a great comedian, Jonathan Gates. He did the Def Jam comedy. Oh my God, he was hilarious. And oh my God, I figured out that my perspective resonated with another person. that the way that I think resonates with another people, and it's okay to think the way that I think, because he's thinking in a way that I think, and I'm thinking in a way that he thinks. And that was just such a transformative, awesome experience that that my friend's ex-girlfriend, or my friend and his girlfriend, they completely deprived themselves of, because they were so fearful, or she was so fearful of being in that environment, that she didn't get to go over the hump. She got stuck at going up the hill. And yeah, okay, the first couple comics like kind of really, dogged. But that last comic, Jonathan Gates, he kind of brought it all into a perspective of unity that made the entire show a cohesive piece. He was like the last one up, and he gave like a review for everybody pretty much. And he made the entire night cohesive, inclusive, and feel like community. Because he started dogging on the other comedians too, bro. He noticed that the comedians were dogging on me and I was having fun. And then he started dogging on the comedians and I had even more fun. I was like, yes! Because I like comedy because of that exact purpose. And if you're doing comedy and you can't fucking sit there and have a good time, you know what I'm saying? But I'm bringing that up because this was like a falling out for us. We had like a huge like fucking argument. And afterwards, I was like, it's racist to imply racism where there is no racism. And they were like, what the fuck, Adam? And I was like, well, if you're always looking for a fucking dollar, then you're eventually going to find a fucking dollar. And we were walking down the street, and there's a dollar sitting in the gutter all covered in dirt and shit. And I went, there, right fucking there. And I started dancing around and shit. And I was like, if you're always looking for a dollar, then there will be a dollar right there. So that's what I'm saying. Where does this level of coordination occur? That the mere fact that when I was pointing it out and I said, if you're always looking for a dollar, you're eventually going to find a dollar. And then I walk by a fucking free floating dollar on the street and I pick it up and I give it to him. That's a level of synchronicity and coordination that I don't think humans are capable of. But I don't want to be ignorant and say that humans aren't capable of something, because that's the same exact fucking ignorance that gets you thinking that aliens built the pyramids. Maybe aliens gave us some kind of technology to help us build the pyramids, but ultimately, it was humans doing human shit, because we're fucking cool. We're cool as a species. Maybe we're cool as a species because we were genetically engineered by aliens. That's the thing that could be cool. I don't know. There's always the realm of possibility. You always got to entertain the realm of possibility. Like, maybe that guy was trying to buy a dog. Maybe he was like, I want to buy a dog, or whatever. But I would not sell that dude a dog, especially if that was his reaction after not getting the dog. That kind of reaction, like, if you were a person in a store like that, I'm pretty sure you'd get thrown out. And I think that's where I ended up showing a little bit more kindness and empathy than actual society shows to most people. Because he was crashing out right next to my car, and my first thought wasn't get the fuck away from my car. My first thought was, all right, let's analyze this and then fucking offer assistance. He didn't want to take the assistance, and I didn't have the adequate necessary tools to assist him, so c'est la vie, that is life. I guess that's all I can really do for that situation. But now I'm into the point where I've analyzed it at this point, and I say, well, a lot of this weird shit is happening, that there's either a very active, data environment, a very active social environment, or a very active spiritual environment, that a high level of coordination is happening in. And I hope that same high level of coordination can help others reach where they want to go and get them to where they need to be. And hopefully people realize where they're going and where they need to be and where they want to be can all become Same thing. Alrighty, peace out. Fucking missed the button. Alright, bye.